You man!
You're about to watch the bestest film in the full world.
It's about Pendower Estate and how it's changed over the years.
And about what residents live on the estate. Hello, my name's Olivia Nixon.
And my name's Chloe Dryden.
I've lived on this estate for 11 years, which is all my life.
And I've lived on this estate for at least 4 years.
My mum lives on the estate, obviously with me. My grandma lives on the estate, a couple of doors up from us, and my great grandma lives on the estate as well. And so does my uncle, and my cousins, and my other uncle.
I'm Paul Donnelly. I'm 91 and I've lived here since 1938 on the estate.
Nell Donnelly and
Well, you've lived the same.
Yes, I've lived here since 1938.
Yeah.
And I was 14.
Yeah.
And I'm Iris Knight, and I lived here since 1965.
And I'm Helga Simpson, and Monica Nixon is my daughter, Olivia Nixon is my granddaughter, and Chloe Dryden is her friend, and so's Megan Foster. I've lived in Pendower about 48 years.
I've lived here most of my life. I came when I was 6, but my grands lived here all my life.
Well, I used to live in Stanhope Street with my parents, and the council put a compulsory purchase order on the pair of flats they owned and said they were knocking them down. So after 3 interviews, they finally got a house in Pendower. They moved here, and I think it was in 1963, and the pair of flats are still standing today. They didn't knock them down at all.
And we came here because we had 2 flats in A-Line Street, and they were compulsory purchased, for the new estate, and we moved up here 1965.
Well, we moved from Donegal, and it was posh up here.
There were council houses on the Delaval estate, that was below
Delaval
Armstrong
estate.
Road. But there were flats, and these were had been built after Pendower. But there were certainly, these were better houses than
Oh yes.
the flats were.
Oh, there were. You could hear the cutting the bread downstairs. We lived.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, mother used to be worried stiff having a big family. She was worried stiff in case we were noisy for the neighbours. She said when they moved into Pendower, she settled the first week.
Well, it's like an estate all of its own, and it has changed, but some of the families are still here, and it's, how can I put it?
It seems like an enclosed sort
That's
of
like
area,
a safe
doesn't
haven,
it?
like a little estate that's not associated with like other estates outside.
Yes.
Well, it was very nice.
It was
actually.
very select.
Yes, it was. You had to have 2 references before you could get
Yeah.
a house on this estate. The land up here belonged, in this, all belonged to a Lord Peace, the same as the names of the Peace
Peace
Avenue.
Avenue, yeah.
That was his, Lord and Lady Peace, and he died, and she sold the land to the council. And this was the first ever council estate to be built. 1919, it was for soldiers coming back from the First World War so that they could have decent houses. But
Peace Avenue was beautiful hedges, and the gardens were were lovely. We used to walk down and admire them.
Well, I remember from being really young going to my gran's house. We lived on Pendower when we lived in the flats on Penwell. And it was just lovely to see the gardens, because I never experienced that. And the only time I could play in the garden was at my gran's. And then when my mum got a house on Pendower Way, it was just amazing to have all the outside space to play.
When I was younger, we mainly used to play either in the streets, sitting on the curb. The girls used to play hairdressers a lot, and the boys would be playing with balls and also played rounders a lot in the street, which obviously they don't do now.
I didn't so much as play, but we all used to sit at the top of Pendower. There was a group who lived at the top of the estate, that was their bit. And then I used to come down with my friends to the bottom of Pendower, and there used to be a group of people that lived at the bottom of the estate. We used to hang around there, and we used to go back and forth between the two.
Right, well, either just like walk around in the street, or like we might sometimes we'll go along the library, or we'll go to the park. Like play games like Two-Man Hunt and Red Rover and that.
And spot and curve. Things like that.
And you know, we had a nice park down there, Hodgkin Park. We had the
Hodgkin
band,
Park, yes.
a bandstand with brass bands and things at weekends.
Oh,
Music,
Oh, we went to dances.
dances, yeah.
Oh, I used to go
And
to
pictures.
dances.
There was
Uh,
about
there
seven
was a
picture
hut.
halls around.
Pendower Hut. Just
That's
Within,
right.
where-
within walking distance, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was just across the road where the bus stop is, you know, was that.
Yeah.
There. And the soldiers were in it during the war. you
It
know.
was a wreck.
But they built
And
a they built a big brick building, and it was very nice. And they used to have dances.
In Sunnybank's good because you have loads of good memories, like when we bake and stuff. It's funny because all the stuff gets thrown all over.
We have little food fights. Because like Scotchy has a centre, but it's like a sports centre. But this is just like,
This is just a centre for just this area.
and that people go from all over go down there, but this is just for people that live in Pendower.
So like only people that we know. Cause like
you feel safe.
you
and
look
that.
and you look forward to seeing like your friends. If you don't like seeing them play out.
Or if you don't like go to the same school and that.
My favourite place is the Maida, because looking at the old building, I've never ever been in, and we used to play in the grounds. Oh, and we used to sit in the tunnel and make ghost stories up about the gravestones. Well, the Maida just looks like a big castle.
Well, it used to be the Bishop's Palace, and it was owned by the Coal Board. Then it was a nightclub. Then it was used by Biker Grove
Yes.
Children's Television.
It looks out of place, because it looks like this grand castle with a long driveway going up to it. And there's been many stories about the Maida, about ghosts and the grounds, and I think at one time it's fascinated everybody that's lived on Pendower.
Everybody used to be a lot more friendly towards each other when I was younger, and a lot more people played out compared to today. They didn't have computers and televisions and things to watch. There was more of a community spirit then.
I think it was better actually in those days. Well, people talked more to each other, and communities, you know, stuck together and entertained each other.
It's good to live on Pendower because like there's loads of like people the same age as you that you can play with.
Everyone used to look out for everyone, and I mean, no matter what street you went into, if you did something wrong, it was back to your mother before you got in the house. And everyone used to say hi, and you felt safe because you knew at least 3 people in every street on Pendower.
True.